Speech acts, verbal actions that accomplish something. In a typical speech situation involving a speaker, a listener, and an utterance by the speaker, there are many kinds of acts associated with the speaker's utterance. The speaker will characteristically have moved his jaw and tongue and made noises. Meanwhile, the listener attends to the message and creates meaningful response. People do not only produce utterances containing grammatical structures and words, they perform actions via those utterances. Constatives are utterances used to state things. Meanwhile, utterances used to do things are called performatives. So, action performed via utterances are called speech acts. The speaker and the hearer are helped in this process by the circumstances surrounding the utterance. And these are called speech events. In many ways, the circumstances are the ones that determine the interpretation of the speech act. The action performed by producing an utterance will consist of three related acts. These are locutionary speech act, illocutionary speech act, and perlocutionary speech act. Locutionary speech act are the actual act of uttering. The act of saying something using the sound, grammatical, and semantic system of the language. The act opens the communication by the speaker to the listener, such as saying hi and hello or how are you. Meanwhile, illocutionary speech act refers to the intended meaning of the utterance. The meaning may depend on where, why, when, and how it is said, as well as the manner of the utterance by the speaker and the social function of what is said. So when someone would say the coffee tastes great, this example might be an example of an invite, an offer, or simply a statement of a fact. So as a response to Austin's speech act theory, John Searle in 1976 classified illocutionary acts into 5 distinct categories. The first category is assertive, a type of illocutionary act in which the speaker expresses belief about the truth of a proposition. For example, would be suggesting, putting forward, swearing, boasting, and concluding. Sometimes it is also called representatives. The next category is directive. It is an act in which the speaker tries to make the addressee perform an action, such as asking questions, ordering, requesting, inviting, advising, or even begging. The third category is commissive. It is an act which commits the speaker to doing something in the future. Examples of commissive acts are promising, planning, vowing, and betting. The next category is called expressive. It is a type of elocutionary act in which the speaker expresses his or her feelings or emotional reactions. Some examples of an expressive act are thanking, apologizing, welcoming, and deploring. And finally, declaration. These are utterances which are used to change the status of some entity. The status of some entity changes by the mere uttering of the words. By saying that someone is fired, an employer causes or brings about the person's unemployment, thus changing his external situation. Lastly, Perlocutionary speech act. This is the resulting act of what is said. This effect is based on the particular context in which the speech act was mentioned. This is also observed when there is an effect of the utterance to the addressee from the speaker. The response may be elicited by scaring, inciting, confronting, persuading, and even inspiring. This act intends to change feelings, thoughts, and actions. Remember, we create an utterance with a function intending to have an effect. So when someone say, maintain a distance of 6 feet whenever possible, locutionary act is the act of saying the message. Elocutionary act is the intention of the sender. And perlocutionary act is the action taken either by the sender or the receiver.